That's that COVID. That's that COVID cough. There's that and that and hold on. Go. Do it again. What's going on? Boom, boom, boom. There we go. All right. Okay. Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Boom, and welcome to the Big Honker Podcast, brought to you by our friends at Dirty Duck Coffee. I'm Jeff Stanfield with the world-famous Andy Shaver.
That is me. Somebody's been fucking around over here. It's off over here.
What's off?
Did the ladies clean over here?
Well, probably. So you won't blame it on them for your work area being clean.
It's a nice gesture. It was a nice gesture. I'm just saying things could have been done better.
Knocked out our first weekend of waterfowl season here for us. Good weekend.
Ready for some cold weather?
Yeah, we do need cold weather. We are very fortunate. We have a lot of birds here right now, but it's going to get pretty stale in about 2 weeks.
How about you not do that?
I just knocked our light out here below me. Introduce our guest while I fix it.
Just he's all over the place right now. We've got online with us today Mr. Ty Hockett from right around Centerville, Ohio. How are you, Bird? How are you, bud?
I'm doing great. How about you
We're
guys?
doing awesome, other than it's going to be 90 degrees tomorrow.
Oh, man. Well, that weather's a lot different than what we've been having.
Yeah, like what you guys, have y'all had snow yet?
Yeah, we had snow yesterday. This is the first time in several years when I can remember like a decent snow in November. So, but I'm not complaining.
Now, what has that done to the migration? Are there birds around?
Our migration is really weird.
Mm-hmm.
We have like no migration usually until like mid-January, end of January. So we're mostly hunting local birds for the majority of the year. So, it's one of those things that I guess it's a wait and see because we're right in the middle of our split right now. So, our season comes in on Thursday. So we'll see. But the first, we had a week-long season 2 weeks ago, and we did fairly well. But we'll be chasing these geese here in just a couple days.
So it was a week-long season 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. It's weird how they do it. So the last week of October, we can hunt ducks and geese, and then we have to wait 2.5 weeks to hunt geese again, and then ducks don't come back in until I think December 13th. So we're hunting ducks in October, and then not again until mid-December.
Why do they do things like this? It makes no sense to me. Like, why would you have a split that long? Start that early to shut down for that long. Just fucking run it. However many days. Just fucking pick it and run. Don't be shutting it and it makes no sense to me. It infuriates me when I hear things like this.
I tell you why they do it. They
Tell
do
me.
it because they got so many days to hunt. If they're going to give you 60 days to hunt, they're going to do 60 days, and they're going to usually backload the end of it and then work in. How long? When does your season close? What's the last day y'all hunt?
So our goose season goes out February 12th. Our duck season goes out January 31st.
30th.
Okay.
30th. I'm assuming the 30th. I think 30th is the last day everybody in the United States can hunt ducks. So do you have the whole month of January to hunt?
Yeah.
And they just backload it at the end, and then the front they give you some little snippets.
Yep. And honestly, for us, the end of our season is usually the best. I mean, we do a lot of waiting around usually in December for that. But I mean, like last year, we had like nothing until the end of January. So
I think it's that way everywhere with ducks. Anywhere, like especially us, we're in the end of the migration. So January is our best duck month always. Now our best goose hunting can be right now. Goose hunting is really good right now, but we need some pushed winter, and we don't hardly have any winters anymore. But even regardless, we have better ducks in January than we do any time.
Yeah. I don't think we saw a mallard in our first season in October at all. It was all wood ducks. I mean, we were shooting wood ducks in cornfields. So I mean, it was fun, but it would have been fun to shoot some mallards too.
How many wood ducks is it? One?
It's three.
So that makes for a fun hunt.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you get 2 or 3 guys out there. Yeah, we had a good time. I mean, we shot a couple 2-man limits of wood ducks, and especially, I don't know, we have fun doing it in dry cornfields. It's just, shooting wood ducks in dry cornfields is a good time.
Yeah.
I caught some, I had some negative comments to me about when I said with Lee Chose that I think I would like to see us go to a 3-man limit on ducks, or a 3-bird limit on ducks. And I had a guy contact me. He said, man, it's a lot of work. Nothing negative, just his feedback was we bust our ass to go somewhere. And he says, much work as it takes, we don't want to do it just for 3 ducks.
Right.
And I understand where he's coming from, but for the overall good, I think that we're fixing to see that happen before long. And I would be okay with the 3-bird limit, but keep our days.
I don't think you're going to see it at all.
You don't think so? You think everything will stay the same?
Yeah.
Well, there'll be a whole lot of people happy if it stays that way. But I don't want to see us lose days. If we're going to lose something, I would rather lose birds or the daily bag limit than I would to lose the days to hunt. Because
I agree.
They cut the season down to just 30 days and shoot 3 ducks, and you're going to lose a lot of duck hunters over a 30-day season. Yeah. But if you keep it a 100-day season and shooting 3 ducks per day, I don't think you're going to lose very many hunters because guys want to get out and hunt. I mean, geez, that's what it's about is the hunting. It's not always about how many birds you kill.
Yeah. And I mean, for us, we have so few days where we're actually killing birds that I would prefer to, give us the opportunity that if we get cold weather to be able to get out and hunt and kill birds. Because, I mean, I might have been hunting in the snow a handful of times over the past 5 years,
right? Just
because we had any winter, and for us, we have to have some kind of weather to make birds move, particularly the ones that are sitting in town all year long.
Now, did y'all have a snow the other night or today? Are you getting snow today?
We had it yesterday. Yeah, no, it didn't have enough to where it stuck around, but I think it was 70 degrees 3 days ago. Yeah. So just the cold weather make birds get out and move around.
Now, not to alarm you, but there's a weatherman named Joe Bastardi. And he's saying that there's going to be a big polar vortex, and it's going to be east of us, so it's not going to do us any fucking good.
But it's going to go across the Dakotas, though.
It's going to go across the Dakotas through Minnesota. I'm looking at Jeff's map. Wisconsin, Ohio, and then down that route. So
he doubled down on it again today, too.
Did he?
Yep.
So, and that's supposed to be Thanksgiving, the day after Thanksgiving. Oh. So it's coming up here.
Yeah, even better. Yeah, I got one of my really good buddies. He goes down to college in Florida, and he's coming back to hunt with us. So some weather like that would do us some good for sure.
I looked at his deal, and I looked at another one, and it showed actually on the Friday after Thanksgiving here going to be a big cool down even. Didn't say snow, right. But it showed 9 to 10 degrees below normal, which would put us for a highs in the low 40s that day.
Right.
But I'm looking right now at NOAA, which is the weather I look at more than anything. And today it's going to be 36 in Minot. Tomorrow it's going to be 45. They're going to be at 28 on Wednesday for a high. They're going to be Thursday a high of 30, 40 for Friday, 37 Saturday, and then a high near 27 with a 40-mile-an-hour north wind on Sunday.
For who?
For Minot. So that's going to at least be another it's right. Not at least 55 degrees up there and steady. At least we're having some kind of push. Anything that's hitting there is drifting east.
Yeah. Well, I I would not complain at all. With as bad a weather as we've had the last few years, a good cold winter would do us some good.
We haven't had one in so long. I don't even remember a good hard. I remember some cold fronts, but I don't remember. It's been at least 15 years since we had a steady winter here where we got a cold front every 5, 6, 7 days like we used to get.
I remember our first year in Oklahoma. We were
It was
always
cold.
cold.
It was cold it was snowing cold for a long time. And that was 7 years ago, I think.
Right.
So 2013 or 14. So how many you grew up in Kansas hunting, right?
Yeah. Yep. I did.
We're at in Kansas.
Smith Center. So it's like north central. Like if you look at a map, if you went an hour south of Kearney, Nebraska, that's right where I was. I was right on the line.
My God, what a horrible thing to do! Be a duck hunter and go from northern Kansas to freaking Ohio.
You aren't kidding. You aren't kidding. It's had I not gotten paralyzed, I would definitely still be out west somewhere. But the medical care that I get here right now is really good. So my wife tells me I have to stay.
That's a good thing. Do you mind talking about your accident?
No, not at all. No, not at all. So a week after my 17th birthday, my girlfriend and I were in a truck, and we went to the dump to dump some trash. And on the way back, she was driving, and we flipped her truck, and then I was ejected, and she had traumatic brain injury, and I got a spinal cord injury. But that girlfriend and I ended up getting married, and we've been married now 11 years.
Oh wow!
So
that's awesome right there.
Where did your injury occur on your back? Like, is it lower? Where's it at on your spine?
No, it's actually higher. So it's C5, so it's in the neck. Yeah, which technically makes me a quadriplegic. So I don't have any use of my hands or my abs or anything like that.
You still don't have your hands. You can move now, or you can't.
No, I can't. Nope, not at all. No, it's a lot of I don't know. People don't think that I could shoot and stuff like that, but I do. I make it work.
So how do you do that?
So what I have to do, because I don't have any muscles in my abdomen or anything, I scoot my butt down in my chair so I don't fall over, and then I just kind of put my finger on the trigger and yank my hand back.
Really?
Yeah. So it's kind of unique.
You shoot a bow and arrow also.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I shoot a regular compound bow. I don't use any adaptive equipment at all.
So you don't have use of your hands, but you can move your arm enough. Is that what it is?
Yeah. So I don't really have any tricep muscles. Right. It's all bicep. And it's just been like work over the years to build enough muscle that I can hold a gun or pull my bow back or anything like that.
So I'm trying to visualize. So you're able to lift up your shotgun, and then you can get your finger on the trigger, and then you can pull back. And you're pretty accurate that way?
Yeah. I'm a better shot than most of the people I hunt.
Well, yeah, you'd definitely be a better shot than me. Like that's, and I'm trying to like pick up shooting techniques from you. Maybe I'd be better off not just fucking going like that. I don't know.
Yeah. Just act like 75-80% of your body doesn't work. And sit down and just shoot.
Well,
that's amazing. We have a young lady that worked for us last year, was in a car wreck, and she's a quadriplegic, and I don't know. She's starting to get used for her hands a little bit, but it's a long, hard road. But man, I tell you what. It's great to hear a story like yours of someone, because you're living your best life.
Yeah. It's just been I've been really lucky. I have a lot of support with my family, and of course my wife. My wife has put a lot of decoys out for me over the years. So, and actually, this year I'm all on my own hunting, because this summer we actually had our first kid. So she's busy with it. Thank you. But yeah, I mean, especially in the beginning, it was a lot of trial and error. And like I said, I've just been super fortunate that I've had the support, and she goes out with me and puts the decoys out and stuff like that.
Does she do a good job of putting out decoys, or do you have to get onto her where she puts them, or does she know what's going on now?
She has no clue what's going on. She just goes where
So how much physical therapy? You said she had traumatic brain injury. How much physical therapy did she have to go through?
Yeah.
And was it also in Ohio?
No, she did all of hers. We actually went to Madonna Rehab in Lincoln, Nebraska, right after our accident, and she was in for about a month, and then she was out. She's done very well. But for me, I was in the hospital from February 7th until June 6th, so I was in there a long time, and then I came to Ohio and did physical therapy at the Christopher Reeve Center at Ohio
Is that
State
the
University.
best place in the country to go to?
I don't know if it's the best. It's one of the best. We decided to come here because I do have family here, so we had some help and things like that. And I mean, their expertise up there is incredible.
Right.
So how long ago was your accident? Did you say 11 years ago?
Yeah, it was actually 12 years ago. It was February 7th, 2009. So 11
Do you
years
see
ago,
yourself
yeah.
going through new barriers all the time? Do you have little steps and victories all the time still? Or not steps, but I don't.
Yeah. Don't do a lot of stepping.
When I said that, I knew that I said the wrong thing.
Oh, no. But
I'm glad we fixed it
yeah,
here.
you know, yeah. It's one of those things that, you know, like for me, for this year, because I am hunting by myself, you know, it definitely, it feels good to be able to do it again on my own, because before I got hurt, I was by myself all the time, just me and my dog. And now it's kind of gotten back to that where it's just me and my dogs, and that feels really good, you know, to not be relying on other people all the time. So, you know, anytime I shoot a bird, I'm pretty proud of myself, because, you know, not everybody can do the things I can do, and, you know, I've worked really hard to do it. So yeah, I you know, I'm just kind of enjoying life one day at a time.
So walk through a
God
day.
damn, Jeff.
No, a walk. Okay. Okay. First of all, I'm glad we touched on this one too, because I'd be catching shit on the back end of this somewhere. When I say something, I'm just talking. I'm not trying to be rude or anything. And you know that, and I know that, but everybody else is going to be giving me shit like Andy now. Take us through a typical morning hunt that you go through when you hunt by yourself.
Okay, so if a normal person, say, gets up at 4:30 to go hunting, I'm probably getting up at 3 because it takes me forever to do stuff. So I go out, and anybody who understands waterfowl hunting understands that you have a ton of crap that you have to put out. I mean, you know, you got blinds and decoys and all this. So for me, I get up, and of course me and the dogs get up, wake my wife up, you know, she yells at me, and then we go from there. We go out to the field, and I have a lift in my truck that lifts my wheelchair, you know, into the bed of it and then takes it out. So I get out, I unload all my crap, I load back into my truck, drive it to, you know, the other end of the field or wherever, unload again, you know, wheel back out to the field, and take, you know, an hour and a half setting up. And that's probably the hardest part, is it takes me so long to get set up by myself that I have to make sure I'm in the field super early. And, you know, but I would rather be doing that than not be able to do it at all. So
when you first told somebody, hey, I'm going to go duck hunting tomorrow, were they like, have you lost your fucking mind? Like, how are you going to do this?
I think maybe people outside of my family, but my family knows that if I don't get out and do that kind of stuff, I'm in a really bad mood. So I think they were real encouraging of it. But you know, people have seen me over the years. Just once I kind of set my mind to things, it might take me a while, but I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
So
now, have you always been that type of person? Like there's no goal that's too lofty. Have you always kind of had that mentality, or is this something that? Yeah.
I think once I set my mind to things, I'm going to do it regardless. It might not be perfect, but yeah. So, and then hunting has always been, ever since I was like 7 years old, that's all I'd wanted to do. So,
yeah. So take me back to the mental aspect. when the accident first happened, how long did it take you to kind of get into a frame of mind of this is not the end of the world? Like, life is going to go on, and I can still do things. I can still get out there and hunt. How long did it take for that aspect to come back to you?
About 15 minutes.
15 minutes.
Not long. Yeah, it didn't take long at all. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I was laying, so they had to fly my surgeon in from Colorado. So I actually laid in traction overnight. And I was laying there making fun of Nebraska football for the majority.
Pretty easy target.
So, I mean, yeah, absolutely. So, you know, it was one of those things that I knew it was going to be a challenge, but I had to do it. I was one of those. I'm very much one of those people who's like, okay, well, this is what I'm working with now, and we just got to do it and get over it. So, you know, I got home in June, and I think within a week I was trying to figure out how to shoot my shotgun. So, yeah, I mean, I deer hunted. I didn't waterfowl hunt that first year because it did take me a while to learn, you know, how I could like swing a shotgun and not just, you know, have it stable. But I did deer hunt, you know, that fall, and I shot a deer, and then I turkey hunted the next spring. And, you know, it was, I definitely still felt like I could do it. And fortunately I've kind of accomplished those goals.
Have you ever spoken to another person in your situation and like let them know? Because, the young lady that Jeff was talking to, like, you know, she went through a real dark period and it was tough for her.
Yeah.
I think your mindset is kind of an anomaly, I would say. I would say most people in that situation are often wondering, like, man, if this would have just been different that day. And that would have to fuck with you. Have you ever talked to somebody else and like let them know, like, listen, I've been there, and you know, it's not, you know, I'm still here. I'm still trying new things.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and don't get me wrong, I still have my, you know, my dark days, my days when I'm just frustrated because, you know, if I could stand up and just shoot, you know, one way or the other, I could have had more birds, and this is frustrating, and, you know, this sucks. But yeah, you know, I talk to people all the time, and I'm like, you know, honestly, like, the whining and bitching isn't going to get you anywhere. So, but you got to go do it. I mean, if you don't go do it, life is just going to get worse and worse and worse. So, and I think there's a lot of people who get injured and they're like, oh, my life's over. And, you know, you can't have that attitude because your life is just going to beat you if you do. So, and you'll find things that you like to do. And for me, it's been hunting and my dogs, and, you know, I train my dogs, and that's what, you know, brings me the most joy. And, you know, other people have different things, but you just got to do it. It's going to be painful. That's probably the thing that people struggle with the most, is just like the pain of it. You know, your arms hurt and you have nerve pain, and it's hard. And like, my body doesn't really thermoregulate, so I can get really cold and I get really hot, and it's uncomfortable, and you just got to deal with that for the rest of your life. That's what, you know, I tell people is you're going to hurt. Your neck hurts, your arms hurt, your back hurt, but it's going to hurt regardless. So you might as well go out and do the things you love and, you know, enjoy life.
Now, what is that pain? What is you said the nerve pain?
Yeah. So nerve pain, so for me, I can feel like everything. I can feel my whole body and feel my feet, and
you just can't control them.
But right. So nerve pain is kind of like a burning sensation. It's just feels like you're being burnt, and it's very uncomfortable. Don't get me wrong. It's not something that I enjoy. But like, for me, if you kind of keep your mind off of it, keep distracted, you know, that's the only thing that I found that really helps. They tried medicine and things, and I absolutely hate it. So, you know, I just try to get out and move as much as possible, because that's what helps me.
That's what keeps the pain dulled down a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, you're so lucky because you had a passion and you had something to drive for. So many people today, they work their job, they go home, watch a little bit of TV, maybe
do it all over again the next
kiss
day.
the dog, and then they wake up and that's it. On the weekend, they'll mow the grass.
Yeah.
But there's so much, and you having this outlet, and you having this like, no, I want to get back in the blind. Like this is I've got something to work towards.
Yeah.
I think it had you know, there's so many people that when something like this happens, they didn't ever have a passion. They didn't ever have that driving force behind them to make them want to push to do something.
There's a lot of people listening to this right now. They're thinking, I am a very, very selfish person because this man here, what he goes through to do the same thing we take for granted, because we take our health for granted. How many times you get stuck in the wheelchair hunting?
Oh, a lot. Actually, like my physical therapists and things, they are always like shocked at like how muddy and beat up my chairs are.
You're gonna take this to a car wash before you bring it back in here.
Oh yeah, like my chair is always muddy. I mean, there's never a time where it's muddy in some way. It's gotten so bad that my wife's like, I don't care, just come in the house, I'll sweep it up later. I mean, it's just, it's always like that. The number of times I have gotten completely stuck, like my push rims on my chair just buried in mud. I mean, I fall out of my chair. It's just, stuff like that's going to happen, and you got to keep doing it. And especially, like waterfowl hunting, because you're hunting, muddy cornfields or, whatever a lot of the time. And it rains a lot here. So, yeah, I've been stuck more times than I can count. And yeah, so, I mean, my chair is always dirty and muddy. And my therapist wants to make like a wall of broken parts for me at their office, because it is constant. So
what do you do when you get stuck?
If I can't get unstuck, it's a call to my wife to say, hey, I am in the middle of this cornfield and I am stuck, and I will be here whenever you're free.
Wow.
I'll be here whenever you're free.
Yeah.
Does she give you shit ever? Because, like, I know how a wife can be. We'll be like, God,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, very much so. Yeah. I do a lot of stupid things, and she reminds me of it.
So, you do everything hand pushed and stuff. You've never wanted to use the motorized one for that?
No, I've kind of been, maybe it's just my stubbornness, but I've tried to keep my equipment to as little as possible. Like if I can, my chair, it's small, just throw it in the back of the truck. And that's the reason I've used no adaptive equipment. I just want to be able to just get my gun out and shoot. I've never wanted to deal with a bunch of crap. Like I said, waterfowl hunting, you're already dealing with enough crap for me. So yeah, and it keeps me in shape, and I can come back and eat whatever I want, because I just went and pushed my chair all over a field.
You are fucking hard-headed. I can tell that already.
Yeah, very much.
Because they've got the cart now that can stand up and do everything, and I'm thinking, for waterfowl hunting, you can get around a lot more. And
yeah,
I respect you for the way you're doing it, but as a guy who takes the easy road out a lot, I'd be in that motorized damn thing.
No shit.
Yeah, my wheels, if you look, I do have, there is motors in my wheels. So I push them, but there is motors in the wheels, and I definitely couldn't get where I go without them. But it's not, like the stuff you're talking about is just like a joystick where you just push and you go. And, for me, I go out and I hunt with my wife, or I hunt with a couple buddies, like, just fitting in a blind and things. I try to keep it as small as possible, because I feel like I take up enough of the blind the way it is. So yeah, I hunt in my regular chair, the same chair that I go out to eat in. I go sit in a duck blind with.
You've got to be a hero for so many people that are in wheelchairs, because you go through a damn Walmart and you see these people get off their ass and they won't even walk to get their groceries. They ride, and here you are going waterfowl hunting and pushing yourself around, and I think that speaks highly of the kind of person you are.
Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, I've tried really hard. I've never wanted to, just go out and just kill birds. It's always been like, I want to have more of experience than that. So yeah, I do my best to keep it, as natural as possible.
Now, when your accident happened, were you able to move your arms like you do now, or is that something that came back to you through physical therapy?
I could move them a little bit, but not chair or do things like that. I had a really, really good physical therapist right after I got hurt, and she pushed me really hard. She's like, listen, you're going to do this, and you're going to be able to do the things you love. You just got to work for it. And I kind of took that and ran with it, so to speak. But, yeah, and I do other things like, I don't know if you guys have ever seen a hand bike. So it's basically a three-wheeled trike-like bike that you propel with your hands. And I took that, and I ride a lot in the summertime, and it keeps me in good shape. It builds my upper body, and I only do that. I mean, I like to ride, but I only do that so I can get out and have the strength I need to go out and hunt and push chairs and pick up decoys and things like that.
So when did you and your wife when did y'all get engaged and, get married and all that good stuff?
So I was actually 18 when we got married. So it was the next year. Yeah. We decided that we were going to get married. We got married June of 2010. So a year and a half after the accident, and then we moved back. We moved back here to Ohio to allow me to have kind of the medical care that I needed, and so yeah, it was short. It was a year and a half. We got married a year and a half after the accident.
Now, what was it that, I mean, obviously you'd just gone through this traumatic experience with one another, but what was it that let you know, like, okay, she's the one?
We were pretty close before the accident, and then after, it was one of those things that we had an experience together, and we had a lot of challenges to go through together, and we lasted, and we were there for each other, and I knew that she was going to be okay with my condition, compared to before. It wasn't something that I had to worry about there, and life got a lot more challenging, and we just wanted to do it together. And for her, she still has issues that she has to deal with, from the traumatic brain injury, like memory, and she still can't smell at all after the accident. So it's just something that I don't think either one of us wanted to do it alone, and so we were just fortunate that we had each other to lean on.
Yeah, that's great. So she still can't smell?
No, not at all.
Is her taste also altered?
Yeah, it is. So, I mean, the not smelling thing is really good now that we have a 3-month-old baby, because you can't smell it. So, but yeah, no, she definitely has challenges. Like the taste and the smell is different, and then the memory. So, like you can tell her something, and 10 minutes later she'll forget that you told her that, and you have to tell her again. So, but she does very well.
Well, I'm glad that's not me. My memory's shit already.
Yeah. What's your bucket list hunt you'd like to do?
Oh man, for me, any hunt that I can take my dogs and just go hunt, that's like a bucket list hunt. Like every day I'm living my bucket list hunt, because I was very close to not being able to do it again. So just being with my dogs, I don't really have a bucket list hunt. Just going out with my dogs, that's really my biggest
So you
dream.
appreciate just being able to hunt?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because I was very, very close to not being able to, anymore. Like, and then just being fortunate enough where I can, go out, and I've trained. I have 2 labs that I've trained, and I just doing that with them. So,
how old are your labs?
My oldest one is 7, and I just got one. She's a year. So,
and then you did all the training on them also?
Yeah. I actually trained my older one, the one that's 7. I've trained her to be a hunting dog, and she's also my service dog, so she can pick up stuff and pull me if I ever need it and stuff like that. So
now, did you get them at a puppy, or did they come to you kind of half-ass started?
No, I got them both. One was 7 weeks old, and the other was 6 weeks old when I got them. So.
Lou is 9, so I'm kind of looking at getting a puppy in the next couple of years. I also got Lou at 8 weeks, and I'm just like, oh Jesus, we're going back to this. We're going back to potty training and all that stuff.
Yep.
Does your wife know you're fixing to get another puppy?
We've talked about it. Yeah, she's on board.
She's on board?
Yeah.
Well, that's what we're going to get the boys for Christmas then.
No, how are you going to do that? You going to shit out a puppy?
No, I can get one bought.
Why am I going to buy? I would like for my plan, because I got Lou from my grandfather, Jeff's dad, who's now passed away. I would like for all of my dogs to come from Lou. Problem is, he's 9, so we missed the boat on freezing any sperm, and took him to the vet 3 weeks ago. They were going to do a sperm count. He would not perform. He cowered in the corner when the doctor came at him with the gloves. So,
and he's usually pretty frolicky. That's kind of
crazy.
Yeah.
He's very frisky, very frisky. So,
all talk, no action.
It might be. So I'm hoping we've got a bitch in line already. So hopefully when she comes in heat, they can get tied up, and I'll have puppies, or a puppy. I don't know. Hopefully summerish. So he'll be 10. 10 years old. He hunts almost every day. That's a long time for a lab.
Yeah, it is. It is. But hopefully it works out for you, because that's a really cool. It's a really cool story, because actually my year-old lab that I just got, they froze sperm from her dad, and her dad was actually the dad to my very first dog.
Oh, really?
So, yeah. So, I mean, that's a cool thing to kind of keep that tradition alive.
If I known that 5 years, they say 5, that kind of is the last year you can freeze sperm, I would have done it in a heartbeat then. I just didn't know. I was ignorant. I thought you could just, as long as his swimmers were swimming, I figured they could freeze it, but evidently that's not the case. So we're just going to have to pray that he's at least fertile enough to get a couple puppies out of the deal. But that's my goal. And then if that doesn't work out, then there's a lot of good dog trainers out there that have a lot of good puppies. So, but I am not looking forward to taking it outside 3 or 4 times a night. And that other stuff is super rewarding, though. But that potty training is a bitch.
I don't think it's the 3 or 4 times at night is bad. It's that damn howling and stuff, the crying when you put them in the kennel at nighttime. That just tears me up. The constant crying all night. Whew.
So how do you rotate your dogs? Who gets to go hunting?
They both go with me
every morning.
Every day they both go, and then it's because honestly, I have not met a human that I would rather hunt with over my dogs.
Yeah.
So I take them both. I feel too bad, it's we don't get a ton of birds, so you never know when the day comes and you're gonna really lay into them, and I would hate to have a dog at home. So yeah, they go, and then I just they each take turns on retrieving.
And they're okay with that?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they both sit there, and it's one of those things that I mean, I'm literally with my dogs almost 24/7, so we have a great relationship, and they I think they would rather be there watching the other dog retrieve than be at home. So
that's for sure. Lou would not go for that. Lou is like, listen, he'd be like, listen, Junior, I've been with him a lot longer. So whenever the time does come that I get another puppy, they're not even going to be in the same blind. Like, it's going to be all Lou or all Dickhead that's coming up, because Lou would he'd bite my nuts off in the middle of the night. If you got me alternating birds, like, no, we're not doing this. We're not doing this at all.
Yeah.
So
my older one is not. She was not happy at first, but she's kind of gotten used to it. I think now we're a year in.
So you said your dogs pull you sometimes. Have they pulled you when you've been stuck before?
If it's not too bad, yeah, they can help me. If I'm just in like mud that's slick and my tires are just spinning, they can help me. But if I'm really buried, I almost need a tractor to get me out. I do leave a leash on my chair at all times that I can reach down and connect it. And yeah, they absolutely help.
How do you teach them that?
It's just one of those things that I kind of, when they're puppies and they're young, they obviously want to pull anyway when you put them on a leash. They want to go. And so I just started with them. I taught Minnie, my older one, I just tell her, go, go, go. And I've just been, maybe I'm lucky, but she figured it out when I tell her to go that she's just got to pull. So it's really, I think people maybe underestimate the intelligence of a dog, particularly a lab. A lot of times I swear all my dogs understand that I do need help, and they help me. So it's just, I think maybe when you spend as much time around them as I do, it just becomes one of those things that they understand that they have to help.
Do you water hunt much, or do you hunt all dry fields?
I have hated water since I was about 2 years
yes.
old, so I will, but it's mostly dry.
Yeah, I'm out. Yeah, if there's a field, with 500 birds in it, and there's a water hole with like 2,000, I'm gonna have a hard time not passing up that field. Like it's so much easier.
Yeah.
So much easier.
Do you have any buddies that you hunt with ever?
Yeah. I have a couple of real good buddies here that I hunt with, Jackson and Carter. I've been really fortunate because they are like 21 years old and really good at carrying decoys and things. So I tell them, if you want to go, you can carry. And then I do go like Illinois. I got my buddy Max, and I go hunt with him. And it is a lot easier when somebody else is doing the work.
How did you meet them? Just throughout your time in Ohio, you ran across them?
Actually, so Carter, he is a relative of mine that, and I just got really lucky that he is as passionate about waterfowl hunting as I am. And then Jackson is like, I swear they should just get married because they're always together. So it's one of the things that if you see one, you see the other. And like I said, I've just been really lucky that those two have been willing to deal with me and my slowness, and go out and hunt, and they do all the work when they go with me. So I can't complain.
Yeah. What is so it's mostly corn up there where you're hunting at?
Yeah, corn and soybeans. That's what
about your deer hunting? Is that also over cornfields?
Yeah, for the most part. Yep. It's so like if you really wanted to deer hunt like where I am, probably the best thing to do is like if you could make like someone's backyard, just go shoot them out of a bird feeder, because that's where a lot of them are. It's because it's so urban here. I mean, like a big farm is like a couple hundred acres. So everything's mostly if it's not paved and it's not a house, it's a cornfield or soybean field.
Because my buddy, he also deer hunts. Obviously, y'all are around the same area, but I guess the corn just came off, maybe, and maybe it's backwards. He was hunting a bean field, I guess.
Yeah.
Corn just came off, and then like everything's going to the cornfield now.
Yeah. It's it's almost entirely corn and soybean. We occasionally get wheat. Just like really small fields, but it's mostly corn and soybeans. And it's kind of odd because sometimes some farms are cutting corn in October and September, and some of it still standing in January. Yeah. So
do you have any big deer lined up for this year?
I really don't deer hunt that much because it is incredibly hard to find places to deer hunt that don't already have 10 people on them. Yeah, I mean, it's like every woods has 4 tree stands in it. So, I deer hunted a little bit when I first got back here, and then just over the past 5, 6, 7 years, there's too many people to even bother, really.
What about turkey hunting? You said you turkey hunt quite a bit. Do you have any success up there?
Yeah. So actually there is no turkey hunting. I don't even think there's any turkey hunting allowed in the county that I'm in. But I do go down with Carter. His family has some property in southern Ohio, and we go down there and turkey hunt in the spring.
I love turkey hunting. That's a close second to waterfowl hunting.
Yeah, it is a blast. And where I was in Kansas growing up, there are so many turkeys that it is just ridiculous. So yeah, I turkey hunted. It became where it was like you just knew you were going to get a bird because there's so many there. And I definitely miss that a lot, where it's like, okay, I can count on going out.
Now, do you have, I'm assuming you have Easterns in Ohio. Did you have Rios in Kansas, or did you have Rios and Easterns?
We had Rios and Easterns. So yeah, it's and occasionally you get a Miriam there too. Just it's very rare. We were kind of right on the edge of everything there where I grew up.
Did you notice any difference in the birds whenever you went strictly to a place that only has Easterns?
There's a lot of differences actually, and I don't know. I don't think it's a difference between Easterns and Rios here, just so much as it is. There's not as many birds, and they're very, very pressured. So it was a huge learning curve, not just turkey hunting, but every kind of hunting here, because I went from animals that very rarely saw people to animals that are always seeing people. So it's just been a learning curve since I moved back here.
Do you ever see a scenario where y'all get back to Kansas?
I don't know about back to Kansas, but it'll be back out west. I will lose my mind if I have to live here for the rest of my life. I got to go back out west because I am not a people person. You will not catch me going shopping or going out to eat or doing any of that. I just want to be outside. So, yeah, eventually I will be back out west somewhere in some capacity.
Where are you thinking?
Honestly, I have always loved the state of Nebraska, and I have some really good friends there. So probably Nebraska when I get out of here.
Now, what are the reasons that you're having to? I mean, obviously it's physical therapy, but like, is there a milestone that you're waiting to accomplish before you can move out?
It's kind of one of those things that like. It's to the point now where my grandparents are getting older. I have a son now, and I would feel terrible about taking my son away from them right at this moment. So it's more about family,
right?
Just kind of doing the family thing, and hopefully down the line. And I really would like to raise my son out west so he had the same opportunities I did, in the outdoors.
Yeah, for sure. What's that like? I mean, how you said 3 months? Is that
3 months? Yes.
Is how your son is?
Yeah. He has earmuffs and he goes hunting with me and my wife. He goes out and sits. I've been really lucky because he's a calm baby. Nothing bothers him. So, yeah, it's another thing that's a learning curve. Dealing with me in a chair and then, having this baby along. But my wife has a carrier that she puts on her chest, and she carries him in that. And I saw her; she had him on her chest, and she was carrying a bag of decoys and a blind.
Holy cow!
So yeah, we I don't think if being paralyzed and having a 3-month-old baby doesn't stop us from going hunting, I don't think anything will.
No, like
she's a trooper.
Oh, very much so. Yeah, I'm very fortunate. Very fortunate to have somebody that is willing to, and she doesn't even like hunting. She just does it because she's helping me.
It's crazy. A woman is very crazy in a lot of different ways, but that is one of the ways
that's a good way of crazy.
The mental fortitude of a woman is insane.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah,
it's bananas. Funny thing, before hunting season started here, we were going to do a fun hunt. Well, it was a little snaky, and like you don't realize how much shit you have to pack. We've got 2 kids now. You've got so much extra shit on top of all your waterfowl shit. Like you got snacks and drinks, and you got to bring a cooler, and so I was loaded up with everything. We have a 7-year-old and a 3-year-old. Well, the 3-year-old, we kind of wanted to carry him through, and it's not far, maybe 50 yards. It wasn't far at all. My poor wife, she had a cooler. I'm trying to think of what else she had. She had a cooler, some Lucky Duck bags. She had something else, and then she had Jameson. And she kind of like put everything kind of like grocery sacks over her arms, and then like just kind of bear hugged our kid. And like she's just walking off through the woods with him. I'm thinking, Jesus Christ, lady, you freaking cave woman.
Yeah. It sounds very familiar. Yeah, my wife is just. I'm like, just leave it. I'll just put it on my lap. I'll come back and get it. Don't worry about it. No, she's scared. She's gone. So
we're making one trip.
Yeah. I make fun of her a lot. We have a good relationship where, you know, we can make fun of each other, but I know if I push it too far that I'm just going to get knocked out of my chair. So
You got a great attitude, man, and that's what counts. And
I appreciate it. I'm going to make her listen to this just so she can hear that I have a great attitude. Because she tells me all the time that I need to shut up. So I'm glad somebody can appreciate my attitude.
No, you've got a great attitude. You're optimistic. I think you're a beacon for a lot of people that are in the same situation, that they can get off their rear and go do whatever they want to do, no matter what the situation is. And then I also think you make people like us realize how fortunate and blessed we are and what we take for granted every day.
I appreciate it. You know, I never wanted to be like, I never do this, you know, to like try to motivate people, but that's never like my number one goal, because I just, you know, I'm doing it. I'll be honest, I'm doing it for me, but I'm glad I can help other people, you know, kind of realize that life doesn't always suck quite as bad as maybe we think it does. So, you know, that's, I just try to go out and hunt. That's all I want to do.
How did you get teamed up with the Pacific Call guys?
So after I got 7 years ago, after I got my lab, the lab that I got when I was 13, I got another one, and I'm like, you know, I really need to like start waterfowl hunting like heavy again. So all my calls were old, and I found them. Actually, I think that's when they were a part of Heartland Waterfowl.
Mm-hmm.
And so I saw their calls and I messaged them. I'm like, hey, listen, you know, it's really hard for me to blow a call because I don't have, you know, muscles in my abdomen, and I need something that's easy to blow. And I got to talking with Trevor, and ever since then I've had a great relationship with him, and that's the only call I use. And that's saying something. If I can blow a call and make it sound good, then they must have like spectacular calls.
So what call is easiest for you to use?
So I got the 4 of a kind like 6 years ago, the Goose Call, and that is the easiest call for me to use. I'm still using it. Like I just ordered a new one, the PCG, just so I have another Goose Call. But that 4 of a kind is incredibly easy to use, and then the Deuces I use as a duck call.
Yeah, and then so obviously like you can't, you know, use your hands to change the notes. So yeah. Is it all just kind of your mouth to change the notes, the cadence?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. I can kind of work my hand over the front of it, but like my fingers don't work. So, but that's just another thing that I definitely drove my wife crazy after I got her trying to learn how to blow a call again. And, you know, just with some time, and you kind of figure it out. Like, I don't sound great, but I sound good enough to kill birds.
Yeah,
so
kill birds for sure. Yeah. You were doing like Instagram lives with on Pacific's account. When was that? That was this summer, or was that longer than that?
That was last year. So, yeah. And then this whole my wife getting pregnant, and in the process of my wife getting pregnant, we're also completely remodeling our house. So life kind of got in the way of that for me. But yeah, those guys have been like great to me. Trevor and Alex and Chase, they've helped me a lot over the years, and so I mean, they're great guys.
Yeah, no, they definitely are. There's not many guys like that out there. I mean, well, there are, but I mean, they are. We were at Die Bomb, and a kid looking at a call or whatever, and
someone else's call was blowing someone else's call, and Alex went. I'm sorry to steal your story.
No, you're fine.
But Alex walked over and showed the kid how to blow the call and helped him, and it wasn't even they didn't even sell the kid a call, someone else did. And then he went and got one of their calls and gave it to the kid, and the kid blew it in the contest and stuff. But he spent an hour in the most miserable heat I've ever been in my life teaching this kid, working with this young man, showing him how to blow a call. Just out of the goodness of his heart, just good people.
Yeah, they're great people. They're great, and you know that I'm just lucky that it worked out the way it did, and I've been able to build a relationship with those guys because they truly are. I mean, especially there's a lot of call makers out there, and there's a lot of people. But you know, having that you can, if you want a relationship with the guys at Pacific, if you want, to get advice or anything, you can get it from them. They're going to tell you. So I think it's pretty unique, their willingness to help and their willingness to give advice.
Yeah, they're so easily accessible. Whereas a lot of these call companies, you try to talk to somebody and you're not going to get the guy that's making the call. You're not going to get the guy that's selling the call. So for them to be as available for everybody, that's a true testament. And like Jeff said, that story of them at Dive Bomb was extremely touching because they didn't have to do that. They could have milked the kid for $100 or whatever, but he gave him a call, made the kid's day.
Yeah.
Well, listen, it has been a pleasure speaking with you. You are an inspiration to a lot of people, whether you intentionally are trying to do that or not. We need more people out there with your mindset of, listen, nothing's going to get in my way. So it has been a pleasure to talk to you.
I very much appreciate it. And it's been an honor to be on and to talk to you guys.
Well, if there's anything that we can ever do for you, don't hesitate to ask. And good luck this waterfowl season whenever the hell it comes back in for you up there, because I've already forgotten the dates.
All right. Thank you so
Ty,
much.
thank you. God bless you, bud, and have a great Thanksgiving.
All right. You too.
What a good story.
Ty Hockett.
Amazing story.
Yeah.
People that think they have real world problems don't have them.
What.
And then he gets out and does what he wants to do. And I'm going to tell you what I'm really impressed with. Jesse and Michelle ain't coming to get us in the middle of a cornfield if we're stuck in a chair until they got time to do that stuff.
Yeah, they would. They'd bitch about it.
Okay, there you go. But anyways, that's an amazing deal. What a cool story.
Huh?
Oh, your wife says she sees you, I think.
Good attitude, and I mean, just
good story.
They came together.
Really good story.
Darkest time.
Yep. Appreciate that. It's just really a good story. All right. God bless everyone. Thank y'all for listening to us. This is the first of this week. We'll have Kyle and Forrest from Dive Bomb will be on with us later in the week, and then we will have an update on how our season's going and everything. Wet here?
I guess.
You got anything else you want to talk about?
Mm-mm.
All right. Deuces. Bye.
Go check out all of our wonderful sponsors. Check out Pacific Calls, best in the industry. Check out Shin Gear Waiter, Steak Plains Meat, Dirty Duck Coffee, Goose Creek Retrievers, Gun Dog Outdoors, Looking Glass Duck Club, Lucky Duck, Boss Shot Shells, Dive Bomb Industries, Bangtail Whiskey, Eyesight Drones, Stanfield Hunting Outfitters.